Champions League nights have returned to Newcastle St James's Park, and we've got a classic. We've got a classic. We've got shared history with Barcelona. We're going to do a match preview today. Let's find out who will come out on top on Thursday night, St James's Park, right here on Toon Tactics TV, folks.
Brilliant from Cher. And now Murphy can take on the shot. Fabian Cher
All right. How is everybody doing? A little bit of a change of schedule. Instead of on a Tuesday, we're on a Wednesday today, just for this week. But regardless of all of that, I'm sure tonight's show is going to be absolutely buzzing. And I'm telling you guys, I was so looking forward to. I'm even just in preparing for the show, getting the slides, getting ready, getting new tools and equipment. I'm going to show you guys as well that I'm getting ready. Just learning about Barcelona. Incredibly exciting team to look at, to study, to watch, but also just to be doing it for Champions League. We're doing Champions League, Barcelona, St James's Park, not Brighton. Do you remember the days we're playing Brighton in Championship? Do you guys remember that? I do. And so I'm super looking forward to it. Breaking down the game with you guys for tonight's show. I got a whole heap of slides in terms of just looking at how Barcelona play, learning all about them. We're going to be looking at also kind of personal duels. Players I think are going to be up against each other, matching their attack to our defense, our attack to their attack, kind of our philosophies. It's going to be a game of big philosophies, like who's in terms of teams playing, I think that's going to come out on top. So there's going to be that. And we're going to be doing a big tactical breakdown as always at towards the latter half of the show. But I can't do it without you guys in the chat. Please do remember to like, share, subscribe. And I can't do it with our next guest. That's our guest is going to come onto the show, Mr. Mitch, who is a friend of the channel. Incredible analysis from him as always. And I know he's a super busy man outside of this. So it is always a pleasure, always a privilege to have him on tonight's show. Mitch, how you doing, sir?
Very, very good. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me once more.
Always good to see you, sir. I know that we've got our guys coming on to obviously our usual show on Spurs Kings weren't able to go on to tonight, but I hope the guys are doing well there as well. But how are you doing, Mitch, though, man?
Yeah, I'm all good. As you say, busy. That was quite the build-up. I appreciate that. Yeah, as you say, very busy here, there, and everywhere. But like I said, when you shout me for a show, if it's possible, I'll make it happen.
Amazing. And straight in the chat, we've got our man Aaron Kaempf here. Always great to see you, sir. And it's a blessing. I know it's on a Wednesday, so I was thinking, man, we're gonna, are people gonna be thrown off? Because obviously it's not on the usual Tuesday, but it's always good to see one of our main guys coming on. Aaron, I hope you're well. God bless you, sir. All right. So Mitch, how I was saying onto the show, we're gonna go through Barcelona, learn about them, their philosophy, their key players, their style of play as well. Before we get onto the tactics board, when I got to big you up for introducing me to the James Lawrence Olcott, the JLA tactical board, which I had a sample and I thought I'm going to just become a subscriber straight away. So I'm super excited to be able to use it today. Let's see how it goes as well. So all these little upgrades I'm absolutely loving. So just want to big you up for that, sir. And big thank you for that. All right. So Champions League night, St. James's Park, where the Owls sleep here. We're doing the collabo as always. We've got Josh in the chat. Toon, because you gave me a heart attack. Thought I had my dates mixed up and missed the game. Do you know what? I've been extra prepared because I've also put the match reaction thumbnail on as well. So I'm super prepared for this week, guys, as well. So yeah, man, I'm loving. I have to say myself, I'm loving the thumbnail.
I have to say your thumbnails are elite. No one does thumbnails like you on YouTube, bro. They're top draw.
You know, gotta show these youngsters don't know about Sir Bobby Robson, man. They don't know like the elite, the elite levels that our great club has as well. So
Yeah.
just blending them, putting the two together, incredible stuff. And good to see Kevin Hawthorne. Good to see, God bless you, sir, from Lake Florida. Good to see. I remember you came on last show as well, sir. So absolute blessing to have you on the show as well. All right, so kicking things off, as I was saying. Oh yeah, he did say he was saying. Josh said, "Yeah, I saw the match reaction in the thumbnail and panicked." So I was super organized this week. Don't get too used to it. All right, so let's before we do that kind of the tactical breakdown, this and that. I want to be able to talk about the style of play and the games themselves and everything else like that. And again, I got to big up Mr. Adam Cleary. He did a really insightful breakdown on Barcelona and their style of play. And so I've taken some images and kind of a lot of the stuff understanding from what he's saying as well. So really looking forward to doing it. Using his material to be able to do that. And just starting off with in terms of how they operate under Hansi Flick, and they've managed to be a possession based side, but a direct side all at the same time. They've blended it together under Hansi Flick. So, guys, if you're seeing the slide here, if you go from left to right, so if you can imagine Barcelona going from left to right. The two CBs and they've got a box midfield in the middle, the two CBs and the two centre midfielders, and that's what allows them to keep their possession and allow them to keep the play. The other thing you'll notice as well is how high their line is, and that's going to be highline for life, mate. On this football, you know, and this was a clash of philosophy. This is their philosophy. They're going to play this way, undoubtedly so. With the two fullbacks on either side, at times pinning back their opposition, but also when they can, they'll also invert, but not it's not a consistent thing. But the main thing is from what I draw from it is this box kind of thing that they have in between there with the centre backs and the centre midfielders. And there's obviously a variation. They've got a super talented squad, super talented squad. So you're gonna have variation of players in those CB spots. Obviously, I just learned that not Balde, even though he's not playing, but they have obviously Arohu who plays as one of their centre backs, key centre backs playing in their centre midfielders. Obviously, the magnificent Pedri, as well as other midfielders that we're going to be talking about there. And then what they'll do is they got the 4 offensive midfielders, attackers, and forwards in the other half. Obviously, the likes of Lewandowski, whether Almo plays, whether you got someone on the left or the right, whether it's Rafinha, Rashford, obviously the ever-present Lamine Yamal. And the main thing is the foundation, the center circle here. And then, as always, they pin their opponents back. I can't remember who the opposition team is in this situation, but what you can see here is obviously they're really playing that high line for life with their forward players up front. What you get is obviously Lamine Yamal would also hold the width, where Rafinha would tuck inside the fullback behind him, whether it's Gerard Martin or Balde would push up and hold width on the left side here, with Rafinha dropping in and inverting, often playing right next to your Mr. Lewandowski in the centre there, and whoever else joins him. So usually pinning back the centre backs. And then obviously you got the box midfield or the box centre back midfielders together, holding that possession, having that midfield supremacy, and pinning the opposition back. I don't know if Mitch, you've had a chance to see Barcelona play this season or under Hansi Flick, even maybe last season. I don't know if you saw anything similar or about how they've played and what kind of maybe has been out, like maybe it's been a highlight to you seeing them play.
Well, attacking wise, I like how he's changed it up from the way they normally just like to keep the ball for the sake of keeping it quite a lot. Like you say, they're a possession based but direct at the same time.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's also a little bit in the. He's done it sort of also a little bit in the Pep mold, where players play in certain positions until they create a bit of space or an overload, and then it becomes a little bit more fluid. So they seem to play in little boxes,
Yes.
and then when they spot where the overload is or where the space is, that's the only time they seem to break the certain boxes they're in at times. So yeah, I find they're a very interesting side. I find them hard to gauge because at times they do look brilliant, but at times I watch them and I think you can get at this side, but it's Barcelona. They've got so many talented players that I don't want to talk myself into a position where I end up in a couple of days looking really silly. Because
Are you going to do your box analogy, the box of the holes analogy? It's going to be
no. We need a few more shapes to do that with Barcelona, I feel.
Well, as we talk about it, let me know what you think. I'm telling you, from what I've saw, it's definitely going to be a clash of styles and everything you're saying about it. And again, going back to that box analogy, the two center backs and the two center midfielders, that's where their midfield box is formed. And when I said at the beginning of the show, it's a mix of possession based but also direct based. These two center backs and the two center midfielders are crucial. So they do a lot of mid rather than like rangy long passes that like you can see Liverpool doing, for instance, or the short passes that they used to do or Man City used to do. They do these kind of mid through balls. So like what Adam Cleary showed is like, for instance, their through balls throughout last year, for instance, was around 129 over the season. That's almost twice as much as the second highest team for through balls. Right? So through balls is their thing, and it comes through the center of their midfield, and it's what allows them to take. It's what allows them to break down teams, especially through the center as well. Obviously, there's a threat on either side of the wings coming from Lamine Yamal and Rafinha. Obviously, Yamal isn't going to be present. It's going to be Rashford. So we're going to talk about Yamal a little bit further on as well, what that impact is going to be. But it's the center midfield that gives them that control, but also gives them that danger as well. And it allows their forwards, you'll see their forwards, whether it's Rafinha, Rashford, Yamal, Lewandowski, and others, to pin the opponent. And they're really, really good in that final third. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more in terms of how good they are in playing in those pockets and really causing damage. And so that's where they get the control, and that's where most of their danger comes from as well. And this is the part they was talking about. So even like it's this final third area here, because their players are so good in tight spaces. Whether an opponent decides to push up, is there a bit that shows? Yeah. So whether an opponent decides to push up, they're able to, and you got the likes of Lewandowski, Rafinha, Yamal, whoever. They're okay with it. They can push. They're happy to be pushed back a little bit, and they're able to take the spots to control the spot in the pockets, control the ball in the pockets, and still get around defenders. Rafinha obviously is excellent at also running in behind. So either the defense lines of their positions push up, or they sit back, and so that's them pushing back. That's supposed to be them pushing back, going in the low block, but that's them supposed to be them pushing back. Or they go in the low block, in which case they get space anyway, and they just connect with their midfielders, and they're able to pick their opponents apart with their through balls as well. So that's the key part of it.
I don't like this at the minute, because looking at this image, and I did like a post game, because I didn't watch Wolves, and I watched the extended highlights, and the shape looked different to me. So I did like a bit of a deep dive into our average shape in that game.
Yes.
And looking at this, what they've set up with here, I'm sat in a weird space where my confidence has actually gone up a little bit more, because the tactical setup of the way Volta made art and Joe Linton creating a box with Tonali and Bruno, with the wingers pushing on past the strikers and inverting slightly. Looking at this, I really like the tactical matchup of that aspect.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
And I don't like sitting in this position, because I'm going to say something silly, and in a couple of days people are going to be like, right, we got you. But I just can't help, when you look at things in a bird's eye view and you see where the space is and you see where teams are trying to create space to play, I feel like we're trying to create space to play in areas where they're weak, and they'll be trying to create space to play in areas where we've actually still got cover.
Absolutely. 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 But this is under Hansi Flick, and he's got his philosophy. Just like Eddie Howe, both of these guys have very, very strong philosophies about how they want to play. The high line. The high line for life, baby. And Andrew be dead jealous of this because he got absolute pelters because for doing it. And what I'll say is this, right? They will keep this high line. This is Barcelona style, whether people want to accept it or not, whatever is the case. And I feel like whether it's whoever, I feel like sometimes people don't always understand the reason for high lines in particular. The main reason is obviously you're close to the opposition goal. That's the main reason. That's the basic foundation. The higher we are, the closer we are to the opposition goal. There's different ways, though, to be able to maintain that high line without getting caught out and pressed. Barcelona's is they're incredibly good in possession. That's supposed to be the key with it. But they're also incredibly hard working off it as well. In their rest defense as well. They will keep this high line. And so you can already see in the emergent situation, Barcelona love a high line and Newcastle love a transition. Right. So you can already see that emergent pattern happening as well. So we're going to be going even deeper into that in a moment as well. We've already got a few people in the chat. Aaron came for saying, people talking about Yamal, the most important player in their team is Pedri. He makes everything tick and provides the platform for those attacking players to thrive. We have to stop him at the source. And I think there was a quote, I don't know if there was a quote, but there was something that was mentioned about that as well online as well. And we're going to be talking about key players and key matchups as well. And I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on it. Just briefly from yourself, Mitch, from what you've seen, if you had like key players that you would look at, who would it be in terms of Pedri? I mean, I don't know how like Pedri. I don't know how much you've seen him play. What's your thoughts on him?
I haven't seen him play loads and loads, to be honest. The games I've seen him play does normally dictate sort of everything that Barca do well. A little bit like his name, the guy at PSG. I've completely forgot his name.
Oh, Luis Enrique.
Nah, the
midfielder, Vitinha.
Vitinha, yeah. So when Pedri's playing and he's really ticking, you see the best of Barcelona. And I feel that's the same with Vitinha at PSG. If he's having a bit of an off game, you sort of notice it more because the rest of the team isn't playing as well because he sort of controls the tempo and how they're playing in the game. So yeah, he's one of those. We need to keep him quiet. I would probably guess that Eddie Howe will have either Joe Linton or Tonali very close to him most of the time.
Yeah. I can see that too. Aaron Kemp says, I expect Barca to start up with a box midfield because they like to play through centrally. They love to play through centrally if they can do it. I noticed in the last game we had a box midfield as well. Mitch was talking about that, setting up in a 2-4-4 ship. We are serious. And you know what? Just to add to that, I'm slightly going on the tangent, but I'm really excited because, and I know these links don't always mean anything, but either way, I don't know if you saw, for instance, Team Talk links us to Danny Almo as well. And there was another midfielder with linked, Kobe Mainu, for instance, and was also linked to us via Alex Crook. And I know links are links and but what I like about the theme of these is that these are creative, advanced midfield hybrid forwards. If you know, I'm like putting all these words together, like and I'm just liking. I'm like, oh, where are we? I'm liking what we're being linked to and the type of players that we're being linked to as well. Wobojo, good to see you, sir. God bless you. If you allow Pedri to take time and or time, you are toast. Yes, it is going to be about. It is going to be a battle of philosophy. It's going to be a battle of ensuring that who's. There's going to be different ways that people are going to try and dictate the play as well. Adrian Pickett says Mitch is going for a 5. Right, so the highline is going to be kept no matter what. They got a possession, stroke, direct style, stroke, but mid passing through balls through the center. if they, which is what they really want to be able to do. And obviously they're going to have their wingers or wing backs pinning us, trying to pin their opponents backwards as well. It's a bit different on their left side, where their left back would usually be Balde, but he's not playing. It's going to be a big miss for them as well. Holding the line there with Rafinha inverting. On the other side, obviously Yamal, who again isn't playing. We're going to talk about him. On the other side as well is going to be trying to pin the opponents back and stretching the play as much as possible. And yeah, Highline for Life Part 1. This is another example of them being willing to risk it. They know, like Barcelona are not stupid. Like they know that we are taking this risk. We're going to take this risk. We're going to allow this space. But what they're going to be banking on is their centre backs and those two midfielders and others to be able to either close the channels, to nick the ball, to cause fouls, and to break up play before, or to create a situation that's a little bit less advantageous to the other team by, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of like blocking certain channels. It's high risk, but it's been very high reward for them thus far. Mitch, I can see the what do you call it, the mechanics working in your brain right now. Like,
you know, as soon as you like, I'm just looking at this picture and say that's Bruno on the ball, Elanga looking to run in behind, Gordon on the other side. You can see how that plays out because Bruno finds the pass, Elanga's not getting caught, and he just squares it to Gordon. And it's like, it's going to sound very weird to say this because it's Barcelona. I feel if they do this too many times tomorrow at St. James's Park, it would be very, very naive because we've got too many players that pass the ball very well and probably two of the quickest wingers in the competition to punish them when we find the pass.
Absolutely. And we haven't mentioned Voltamida yet either, who I think is going to be absolutely key to this as well. And yeah, again, they kept up the high line for life. And even in this, the opposition, I can't remember who the opposition are. I don't know if it's Inter. I think it's Inter. And Inter's just said, okay, you're going to keep the space in behind. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players just running in. But this is Barcelona style. This is what they're doing. And so, and this is and it's working for them. I was going to show this moment in terms of media moments, in terms of Newcastle Wolves as well. There's a highlight in terms of what I thought Newcastle can do, but I haven't learned how to get it onto the JLA just yet. So I'll skip over this, but those parts that I thought were going to be really, really good about this. Right. So I'm going to get onto it. And we will talk a little bit. Obviously, we just talked about the tactical breakdown of the game. And as mentioned, folks, they're going to have a square. They're going to have a box midfield-ish with their two centre backs in the middle and the two midfielders with the wingers either inverting on the left side and pinning back on the right side, as well as obviously their fullbacks pushing up. And this is what allows them to have domination in terms of through the centre, through balls. They've got exceptional players in their forward lines who can either play against low blocks or playing a little bit higher up if those lines decides to push up. You've got the likes of Rafinha that are willing to run in behind. They're also going to play with the high lines. Now, we talked a little bit about this and we touched on it while we was doing the tactical breakdown. We're going to talk about the one-to-one duels and 1v1 battles as well. And I've highlighted certain battles that I think are going to take place, and we'll talk about it more in terms of in the moment. I'll go to the chat, but I think, I talked about certain 1v1 battles that I think is going to happen as well. And also, I looked at it as in terms of what could be happening in terms of as actual the battles in terms of as a collective, so attack versus defense in our philosophies as well. So not just the 1v1 battles in terms of different individuals, but also as a collective. So before I get into it, I know I've got a few guys in the chat as well, giving their opinions. Gary, good to see you, sir. God bless you. Philip, are you okay? I'm living life to the full, sir. Living life to the full. Aaron, my two issues are who starts at left back and right wing. I want to go with Tino, but we sacrifice the output going forward because he's right-footed. And Ilanga's ideal with his pace, but Murphy can play them balls. Mitch, what's your take on in terms of we haven't quite? I'm going to keep my lineup to myself for a moment. But in terms of left back and right wing, what's your thoughts on what Aaron is saying, and who would you play?
I would say left back. We definitely go with Hall now.
Okay.
I think Hal's mind would have been made up with Yamal being out. If Yamal wasn't out, I think he would have gone Tino Murphy. I mean Tino Trippier. So Tino
okay.
left back, Trippier right back. But because Yamal's out and they're likely to have Rafinha that side, who is still really good but not as explosive, I think he'll back Hall to deal with him. And then we've got the pace of Tino matched up against the raw pace of Rashford, rather than it being Trippier up against Rashford. I think that would have made his decision up. On the right, I don't think there's any reason for him not to go for Elanga. I think he was bought in for games like this.
For games like
teams
this,
are going to come out and try and play against us. If we do have to sit in deep, he'll be one of the quickest players on the pitch on the break. I think this is exactly the type of games he was brought in for.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Gary also says, my main worry is Bruno. He's developed a terrible habit of giving the ball away cheaply, too much falling over for free kicks. We can't give them the ball. I mean, he didn't have a great game against Wolves. I'll give you that. I wonder if the international break played a part in it, but I'm not, me personally, Gary, I'm not overly worried about Bruno doing that. And I wonder, let me know what you mean, Gary, in terms of giving the ball away. Maybe like against Wolves, he was getting the ball nicked off him a little bit more often than not. But if we're talking about his passing, I wonder if Howe is asking him to be a little bit more risky with the ball as well, if it was the case. So, but yeah, I found that in the Wolves game, he was getting the ball nicked off him a little bit more rather than. But there was sloppy passes from everybody, but he didn't have the greatest game against Wolves. I don't know if that's a theme. I don't think that was a theme for him against Aston Villa, for instance, or against Liverpool and others. That wasn't my take. I don't know what about yourself, Mitch.
I think he's actually started picking his moments better when he tries to buy them free kicks.
Yeah.
Because he used to do it a little bit too much, and he's sort of toned it down a bit. And I genuinely just put Wolves down to where they played for Brazil midweek, because high altitude, he's got all the travelling. He was never going to be at 100% for Wolves this weekend.
Yeah.
Which is why I think I can't remember if we just spoke about it privately or if it was on a stream where I said I actually thought he might not play just because of that, and they would have wanted him fresh for Barca and then Bournemouth, which rolls around quickly just after.
Which makes you think about Miley and others. And if Ramsey was fit, probably Ramsey may have played instead. Okay, so sorry, I forgot about the chat. There was a few others as well before we get there. Before we get back on it, Adrian Pickett said, "Has anyone seen the breakdown of how Raul Vallecano dealt with Barcelona or Barca?" I haven't, but we'll have a look at that as well. Aaron Kemp says, "If Hall is fit, I want to go with Hall and have Joey coming in to cover Rafinha just from an attacking perspective, and actually match up Joe Linton and Rafinha in this in the 1-to-1 duels. Just from an attacking perspective and build up wise, Hall can play passes Tino can't, and he's left-footed." You guys are convincing me. Yeah, I'm really giving away my lineup, but
I genuinely feel that, even like he was saying, the attacking side of the game that Hall brings as well, it gives us another player that can play that out pass if we are sort of camped in and looking to break. It's another trigger for both the wingers to go because they'll trust him to find them.
They do, and I keep on saying this when I've done it in match reactions before with Lewis Hall. He's the only other player when he plays who has more touches on the board than Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah.
He's the only other player. And that just shows you just how much they trust him to do that. And how much he takes off that load of Bruno as well, to having to be that creative force as well. Gary says he gets the ball nicked off him too easily. Okay, so that's on to Bruno. Instead of moving it quickly like Tonali does, he dwells on it and loses it. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. I'm hoping it's more to do with a bit of tiredness, a little bit of fatigue.
Yeah, I just think they're two different players as well. Like Tonali's a bit of a tempo set for a team, whereas Bruno is more of he controls the game and is the creative spark. Whereas Tonali gets it, gives it, moves, keeps the ball moving and stuff like that. You never really see him dwell on it unless he can't see the pass, and then he goes on a little drive and run.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the. Someone described him as a destroyer. I think it was on this part. I don't see Tonali necessarily as a destroyer, but he's sort of got that Declan Rice, Casado type role for us.
I actually feel on the ball he plays within himself a little bit as well. You know,
Tonali, there's more to
yeah,
get from him. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of his passing, and I'm like, well, why don't we see more of that? Like, he just seems to just like getting it, playing it short, and then every now and again he just sprays a long ball, and it's like, why don't we see more of that from you?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Aaron says, I hope Voldemort starts, him dropping deeper. Kabasi will probably push up on him. Who's their quicker centre back, which leaves them gaps for wingers to exploit? Yeah, absolutely. Heard reports of Gordon plays centre forward. I hope not. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I'll be amazed if that happens. And it says Volti will have 60 minutes. So Adrian says, yeah, we know that Voldemort had a good 60 minutes experience of the Premier League, and it's like, whoa, it's physical and it's 60 minutes, and like, yeah, I'm cramping up here. But he had a good game. And it was good to see how already adjusting. Like you said, you saw Jolinton right next to him. So long as you got players next to him, you're going to see the best of, and you're going to see the best of that team as well. Honestly, right? So key matchups, and it's going to make a little bit more sense in terms of when I show you guys the tactical board, which I'm really, really excited about. I will take off the. Let me just take off the on the visible chart on the screen just for a moment, just because I want to show the full range of it. So I've matched, and it depends on who's. I think Fermin Lopez is going to play for Barcelona just because he's been phenomenal for them. It's either Fermin Lopez or Dani Almo. I think it'll be Lopez. He's been chosen a little bit more. So I've matched them up with Tonali. And the key thing, obviously, for Tonali is his discipline. His defensive midfielder and central anchor, excels at ball recoveries and disturbing opposition rhythm. And Furman is a dynamic attacking midfielder with a knack for scoring goals, uses clever movement and finds space in dangerous areas. This is why they're so dangerous through the middle. So the key jewel is Tonali's positional awareness will counter Furman's late runs into the box. Furman will test Tonali by roaming to exploit small gaps. So this is where I know we're going to get to Pedri in a moment, but in terms of tempo setting, it's not just Pedri for Barcelona, it's the likes of your Furmans and others. If he's able to get into these spaces and Tonali's not on it, or for whatever reason, which I doubt, I don't even know why I'm saying that. Tonali will be on it, but that'd be the key thing, is these type of players. I haven't got to see Furman too much, but reading about his reports and what he's like, and you can see, you can see why he's getting chosen over Almo. He's really exciting to watch. Those late runs they talked about, his dribbling, his ability to get past players. It's going to be a big test for him against Tonali, our midfield enforcer. And it's going to be one of those key jewels in the middle. Then you've got Joe Linton against Rafinha, and folks have talked about it in the chat, and I'm sure you talked about it as well. I think why it's going to be Joe Linton against Rafinha is because I think Joe Linton is going to be doing a lot of, especially if Lewis Hall does play, I think there's going to be a lot of doubling up on that left side against Rafinha, because I don't back Lewis Hall in a 1v1 against Rafinha, just because of Rafinha's pace and his ability. And Joe Linton is going to be absolutely. We know that Joe Linton drops a lot into the left side as well to kind of help us form a back five a lot of the times. And I think he's going to be absolutely massive. Hence why I've kind of matched Rafinha and Joe Linton a lot. So we know Joe Linton's got that that physical. He's physically dominant, all action midfielder with a massive work rate, wins those aerial duels, and that's going to be key. We're going to set pieces and aerial duels. We're going to talk about that in a moment as well. That's going to be key for Newcastle as well. But Rafinha's a direct and dangerous winger, creates chances of high shot volumes and aggressive dribbling from the right flank, super aggressive. The key to the duel is going to be a physical battle. Joelinton's strength and defensive presence will try to contain Rafinha's direct runs. Rafinha's speed will challenge Joelinton's recovery. How do you see that matchup going in the game, Mitch? Rafinha and Joelinton, obviously Brazilian international teammates. What do you think is going to be key in that? And what do you think hopefully will be the outcome with that as well?
It's a tough one because I don't think this matchup will become that prominent from the lineup I'm seeing in my head.
Right.
I think Powell will back Lewis Hall a little bit more, or it will be one of the two deep in the box of the midfield. If we're sat in and Barcelona have got good possession and Joelinton's back in his natural shape, I think we'll see it, but I don't think it will be like a prominent battle throughout the game. So I'd back Joelinton to win this battle 9 times out of 10.
100%. All right, so the next one is Bruno Gomes versus Pedri, the battle of the dictators. I just realized how that sounds like, as if they're like running countries and stuff. But Bruno is a deep line engine for Newcastle. He's a balanced player who excels at winning balls and initiating attacks with progressive passes. He's absolutely phenomenal for us. Pedri is a masterful control of the midfield. He uses incredible passing accuracy and dribbling to dictate the tempo and orchestrate attacks. And I forgot who mentioned it, whether it was Aaron or somebody else, in terms of being able to stop Pedri is going to be absolutely crucial. Key duel. So the battle for midfield control. Bruno will have to try to disrupt Pedri's passing channels, while Pedri will rely on his technical skills to find a way to progress the ball through Newcastle's defensive block. Is going to be absolutely key in this game. How do you see it playing out between the two of them?
It's a tough one to call because they're very similar players.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is, if one of them comes out on top of this quite heavily, that team wins the game. I think it is as key as that. If it's sort of a 50-50 battle and someone sort of nicks it, say they get 60% of the game and the other gets 40% of the game, that either team could still win. But if it goes to the point of it's like a 70-30 split, who dominates it, that team definitely wins.
If Pedri lets Bruno get on the ball in the middle third, get time to release the ball onto Elanga, to Gordon in those wide areas, it's adios. It's going to be very, very, very dangerous. It's going to be very, very dangerous.
Likewise the other way as well.
Likewise the other way. It's going to be definitely scary. So they both have to be there. The next one.
You know what I think the biggest key part of this battle is in the breakdown. So the transition from our defense to attack is if they can stop the ball being fed into Bruno quickly. Because if it's anyone other than Lewis Hall, 9 times out of 10 they'll be looking. Actually, maybe not Fabian Schär. So if it's anyone outside of Schär or Hall from the back four, they'll be looking to feed Bruno so he can try and play the pass. And if they can stop that channel into him quickly when we win possession back, I think they nullify a lot of what Hal's going to be trying to do tomorrow.
Yeah. In that case, though, I don't think we should be scared to go direct, and because we should be winning the aerial battles here with Joelinton, Voltemade, and others. And
that's why I think Lewis Hall plays, because it gives us another player that is naturally good at getting the ball forward quickly, playing them difficult passes through little gaps that players have left, rather than playing the safe pass. I think that'll be why Eddie Howe plays Hall, because he'll be banking on Barcelona trying to close the channels into Bruno, and then all of a sudden he'll be like, there's another guy that can do that, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The final one I've got is obviously because I thought Kieran Trippier would play, but you guys are making me change my mind live as you always do. Is Rashford? Rashford versus Kieran Trippier. And it sounds a lot better than Kieran Trippier versus Lamine Yamal. I'll tell you that for free. If it was Lamine Yamal, I'll probably have to have 3 Newcastle players here instead of the one. It's just like that. It's not going to be the one player. It's just not going to be the one player.
No, I would have dabbled with a back three if Yamal was in. I would have.
Yes. Yeah,
In my
yeah,
head, I would have been thinking we could be going back three tomorrow.
Okay. Trippier, an experienced, disciplined fullback, combines solid defensive positioning with elite crossing ability. But he also knows all about Rashford as well. England days, Premier League days, and he plays against wingers all day in the Premier League, right? Rashford's going to have a point to prove, though. He's going to want to show people that he's better. Explosive winger, blistering pace of Rashford, direct goal threat, and excels in progressive runs. That's and especially running them behind as well. The key is going to be it's one of those classic pace versus positioning matchups. Rashford's speed will test Trippier, who must use defensive intelligence to cut out the runs and avoid being one-on-one. I have a lot of confidence in Trippier in this situation, especially with Trippier at the top of his game. Now, you don't want to see Trippier having to try to catch Rashford, because that's not going to happen in the recovery runs. But I have a lot of belief in his ability to get his positioning right. And I think if Rashford, for instance, gets his timing wrong, for instance, if Rashford gets timing wrong, runs, leaves a gap in behind him, and Trippier or somebody gets the ball off to Elanga, and a chance created or a goal is scored, I think it will mentally also play a part in when he does runs, or if he does runs at all as well. But what's your thoughts in terms of Mitch, in terms of if it is Kieran Trippier, or do you think he'll most likely be Livramento? Like, if it is Livramento, because I think you're saying Hall on the left.
Yeah.
How do you kind of see it panning out either way?
I would be worried about Rashford's pace.
Yeah.
I'd be very worried about Rashford's pace. But like whichever way he goes with the back four, I still wouldn't be too fussed, because like we were saying about Hall and the way he can pass the ball, I think he'd be using Trippier a similar way on the right as if Hall would play on the left. So the ball could potentially break out to him quick, and he'd be playing the quick pass through for us to get onto the break. So, and I don't think you'd ever really see Rashford isolate Trippier in a one-on-one situation. Fabian Schär would always be within a decent distance. Whoever plays right of the midfield box, whether it be Bruno that's closest, Tonali that's closest, they would be within a position. If Rashford then tries to come across the face of the box like he likes to try and get a shot off, he would have another man then to beat, and then he's back into a congested midfield. I don't think we'll ever see it with Trippier 20, 30 yards behind him for Rashford just to push it and go, and then just completely blitz him. So I wouldn't be too fussed either way. I'd prefer it the way that I spoke about earlier, but if he goes with Tino at left back, Trippier at right back, it'd be like, okay, there's not really too much difference in it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be intriguing. It's going to be intriguing, honestly. Before we can kind of conclude that part of the matchups, we'll go straight to the chats as well. Richie from Red Devil United TV, good to see you, sir. God bless you. And he says, smash the likes, folks. I hope you guys are smashing the likes. You guys know about our conversion rate. I know we've got about 10, 11 people watching the show right now. I'm hoping that we're somewhere close to 10. I don't know if you can see on your screen, Mitch, but if we're not up to 10, let's try and get past 10 if we can.
We've got 10.
Oh, we've got 10. Guys,
Yeah.
why should I ever doubt you guys? You know what I mean? Let's go for it. We've got 11 people viewing. Let's get 20. That's how much I believe in our conversion rate, guys. Fantastic, though. Well done to you guys, as always. Gary says, I think the key to this game is not to allow them to find their rhythm. If they get frustrated, they'll lose their cool and start playing in a way that doesn't suit them. That's true. That's something that can happen. But in terms of just quickly, Mitch, if you were to agree that disrupting their rhythm is key, do you then see Newcastle playing in a more high pressing style, or do you see what I think we've been seeing a lot more, not only at the back of last season, most of last season, but to now as well? And people have been some analysts that I kind of trust and I like, have been kind of whispering it, where we're playing a more practical, dare I say it, certain teams in the top two, not Liverpool, almost playing in a style where a bit more practical. We press when we want to press, and when we defend in the low block, essentially control games that way. Or do you see Newcastle going into that kind of blockbuster high pressing style when we first got into the Champions League, like two couple seasons ago? Like, how do you think? How, when we're talking about disrupting Barcelona's rhythm, if that's going to be a key part of what we're doing, how do you think we will go about doing that?
I think early on we see the high intensity, high press to see what we can get from Barcelona early on, because I think Barca will be knocked off their rhythm just because of the shock of the noise that's going to hit them tomorrow. I think a lot of people talk about like the Anfield atmosphere on European nights, and Barcelona will probably be looking at thinking, well, Newcastle is going to be the same as that.
Mm-hmm.
But as much as Liverpool fans don't like to admit it, the fact is, after they've sung "You Never Walk Alone" and done a few songs in the first 5 minutes, it dies down. St James's Park will not be doing that tomorrow.
No.
And it will keep the team energized for long periods of the first half. So I reckon we come out firing, the press is high, we try and win the ball off them early and get at them straight away. And I think we only then revert to anything different if that actually doesn't work and Barcelona were playing through the press too easy.
Right. Queen of Hearts says, good evening. I hope you're all well. Good to see you, Queen of Heart. God bless you. Looking forward to Barcelona game tomorrow night. 100%. Aaron Kemp says, if Hall can keep Salah quiet, then I back him to do the same against Rafinha. But for me, Rafinha and Salah are different players. I really can't. I really respect Rafinha, like his ability on the ball, his dribbling, his pace, his directness.
And then even on that, apart from I think it was 45 minutes at St James's Park, has Hall really kept Salah quiet in a game?
Burn helped a lot with that, really.
Yeah, even most of the games, like even the Liverpool game, the Liverpool game that we played a couple of weeks ago, Salah wasn't in the game. Hall came on and he got an assist.
Yeah.
I'm like there was one game I remember at St James's Park. He locked him down for 45 minutes, but then second half Salah got 2 goals. So
right. It's
Tino's the guy for locking down fullback wingers. I
yes,
think to lock down most wingers in the world.
Yeah. Aaron says, I don't think there's going to be a better midfield battle in the competition. It's going to be tasty. There's not many midfields which match up to Barca's, but we can. And we have a lot of, I think we have a lot more robustness about us because we're in the Premier League. We're playing against Liverpool's, we're playing against Man City's, we're playing against Arsenal's. I can't think of any other team all the time. I don't think... I think Barcelona face different challenges when they're in Spain, in my opinion, as well. Gary says Voldemort is going to be a pivotal player for us tomorrow. He'll be charged with pulling their defense out of shape and releasing our wide men. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I'll read a few more before we move on. Team Season says, and good to see you, Team Season. God bless you. Here are the facts of Newcastle. Go with a back 5. Barca will pin Newcastle in and we'll get slapped 5-0. That will show every Newcastle fan Eddie Howe can't beat any top European side and he's just a fraud. Oh, wow. You didn't see that us beat PSG 4-1 and that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I will challenge you, Team Season, to go back and find where we have been slapped 5-0. Anywhere.
Yeah,
Couldn't
yeah,
tell you
yeah.
how it came in. Like, go and find it in whatever system. Just find that for me, please, because that's a weird comment. For something that's never happened is just all of a sudden gonna happen. I don't see it. And if you bear in mind that in the league this season we've had like lowest shots on target, lowest expected goals against us
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
everybody in the league. So yeah, that's a crazy statement.
Team season follows up. St. Philip, I will try to give your tactical knowledge a bit of time because you try to figure out how to beat Arsenal. It's simple. Use Gordon and Langer to push past their higher fullbacks and get at them and hold their centre midfields. Yeah, so good. That's going to be a big part of it. Aaron says, I do think Arujo will be a pressing trigger for us. Kabasi is excellent on the ball, so we need to block them passing lanes. Absolutely, absolutely. Gary says we have to press, press, press. If we allow them to come at us, they'll unlock us. Yeah, so I wanna. Excellent, guys. Always great. Please do continue sending in your chats as well. I'm going to conclude this part by saying this is the part in terms of the personal jewels. So look, it's going to be a clash of styles. The matchup will be a classic test of contrasting philosophies. I was saying this at the top. Barca has got that. Excuse me, their ability and their technical superiority, the intricate passing to break down Newcastle's organized physical midfield. So it's going to be our physical robustness and high tempo against their technical ability and the ability to pass through the channels. They will seek to draw Newcastle players out of position, like Firmin. You can see Firmin Lopez trying to do that with Tonali a lot. Newcastle's players out of position to create space for their fast direct wingers, the likes of Rafinha, the likes of obviously Rashford on the other side as well. So that's going to be key in terms of we're looking at Barcelona attacking Newcastle. Newcastle, though, will have our game plan will probably likely to be built around a foundation of defensive solidity and discipline. We'll look to frustrate Barcelona's possession-based attack, win key duels in our midfield areas, leverage our physical advantage. There's a lot of physical advantage from Newcastle's point of view, in my view anyway, as well. If Newcastle can successfully disrupt Barcelona's rhythm and launch swift punishing counter-attacks, which is very, very possible, we have a strong chance of causing an upset. The outcome of the match would ultimately be decided by which team can impose its style of play, and it is going to be who can impose their style of play the most. Can Barcelona with their technical superiority, or us with our physical robustness and counter-attacking? Is going to be absolutely key. The other side of it is our attack against their defense. Now, I've got Balde here, but obviously I found out a little bit later that Balde's injured himself. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be Gerard Martin in his stead as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about Gerard Martin in a moment. But Balde is also is the one that I thought was going to be one of the key players as well. It doesn't get mentioned enough, but people talked about Voltemar. So I do think it literally is going to be. I think our front three will be Voltemar, Elanga, and Gordon. And a big telltale sign is that both Elanga, Gordon couldn't play because he's been a bad boy, but Elanga didn't play either. And I think their legs have been saved for this prime pressing Barcelona team. And they're going to have real strict orders to run with that ball as much as possible.
We're going to see record sprint stats from one of these guys tomorrow night. Never seen before in the Champions League sprinting distance in 90 minutes from one of these two tomorrow evening.
I think that's going to be the expectations. But let's kick things off with Voltemar. The key matchup, Voltemar against Araujo. I'm going to get his name wrong. He's a strong physical defender in his own right. So 6'3" himself. Obviously, Voltemar, there's not many players that are going to be 6'6". Voltemar, despite his height, is mobile. We've seen that in the Wolves game. And if you do get a chance, Mitch, I think the full game is up now on the official website as well.
I'll have to watch that.
I wish I got to play that clip, but he was really, really good. So he's mobile, he's technical forward. We know that excels in linking up play, and I really got to see that. The team it was really good to see that. and progressive carries. Probably more of a creator than a pure goal scorer, but we can work on that. Arujo is a dominant aerial defender. He wins 62% of his aerial duels. I'd love to see though, and this is just maybe it's the cynic of me. I'd love to know what the average height in Spanish league is. And I've got maybe this thing in my mind. I don't think it's as tall as the Premier League's, but I'm going to give him his credit. He's physical, he's aggressive, and he's a key ball winner for Barcelona. So the key duel between these two players, Araujo wins aerial battles. Voltemada, who would expect because of his height to do that as well. But Voltemada must use movement to draw Araujo out, exploiting ground game and creating space, which he did really well against Wolves. I don't know if you see much of Araujo, but in terms of Voltemada, Mitch, how do you think Howe is going to use him in this game?
I think the setup on against Wolves was done as sort of like a trial run for this game. I think it will be very, very similar, just with a few different personnel. I think Voltemada will look to link play by getting the ball into feet, get runners off him only taking one or two touches to move players out of position, and then it will create space for the flying wingers to go in there. So I think he'll alternate between pulling onto one centre back, then dropping deep, and then seeing when one comes with him, he can quickly touch it around the corner to Joe Linton, who was playing very close to him at the weekend, and then we're sort of in at their remaining defenders from that point. I think we'll see something very, very similar.
Yeah, I can see that, and I'm just liking box midfields. Newcastle doing box midfields, and again, my hopeful mind is again. And I love Joe Linton, but if we're gonna have that kind of box midfield role with someone playing alongside Voltemada, you're gonna want someone who has a little bit of Joe Linton about them in their robustness and their ability to have recovery runs. But you also need a little bit more of that creative runs as well, creativity in their passing as well. Hence why I think if it is true the case that we're looking at your Danny Almos, we're looking at your Kobe Mainus and others as well, but. Joe Linton had a really good game as well. Ilanga versus, initially I thought it was going to be Balde. Now, if it was going to be Balde is absolutely exceptional pace as well, and really, really incredible technical ability and dribbling. And so I was going to say it's going to be really a game of cat and mouse, one trying to catch the other. When one goes forward, the other one tries to catch the space in behind as well. But it's not going to be Balde. It's going to be Gerard Martin, who I think is going to be playing as well. And I'll talk about Gerard Martin in a moment from his stats. So we know about Ilanga. Ilanga is a direct pacey winger who excels in dribbling and progressive carries. His main threat comes from running at defenders and delivering crosses. And I want to add as well in terms of his profile, why I think kind of credit to Antonio Mango for this and his kind of profile analysis of Ilanga and Jacob Murphy, why I think Ilanga will play instead of Murphy is because of his ability to run into space and carry the balls. It's going to be absolutely pivotal in this game. I think Jacob Murphy really suited the Wolves game because they were going into those low blocks, and so Jacob Murphy was just sending in those crosses in early, whereas Ilanga will prefer to kind of hit the byline and then do the cutbacks, which have their uses, but not for the likes of Wolves. Kind of games.
I think Ilanga's close control comes in as well. Because Jacob Murphy's biggest downfall is when he's got his back to goal in our own half and the ball comes into his feet, he's a press trigger. And teams win it off him quite often. Ilanga's a lot better at keeping the ball in them situations, which I think he'll need to do tomorrow evening.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Gerard Martin's a more defensive-oriented left back compared to like Balde. So he's reliable in one-to-one. He kind of reminds me, when I heard his description, and I kind of use this, I looked at FBref stats, is that it kind of reminds me of Trippier a little bit. So it's reliable one-on-one duels and a solid passer, but lacks the explosive attacking dynamism and progressive carrying of your Balde. So I'm kind of anticipating that he'll be a little bit more reserved compared to Balde, but we'll see. So Ilanga's directness and test will test Martin's defensive discipline. This matchup would be less about two-way attacking play that you would have seen against Balde, and more about whether Elanga will consistently break down Martin's defensive stability on that flank. And we talked a little bit how that could happen as well. The next one is Kabasi versus Gordon. I'll talk about where I think Kabasi is a phenomenal young player, but 18, 19 now as well. I anticipate that he's going to be on Gordon's side. Gordon, we know, is direct, pacey winger, high shots, touches in the box, excels at driving towards the goal. Kabasi is very intelligent, ball playing centre back, relies on position and exceptional passing. He's absolutely exceptional in his passing. And this isn't just safe passing. He's also very, very good in terms of his through balls and everything else. He's going to be one of the key drivers in that as well. Gordon's speed versus Kabasi's positioning. So Gordon will look to exploit space. Again, lots of space there will be to exploit. Kabasi will anticipate runs and cut passing lanes as well. I'm going to tie this question for both Elanga and for Gordon, Mitch, and that is, we can kind of see how the picture is building. The high line, Barcelona's high line versus our transitional pacey wingers. My concern, and hopefully it will evaporate within this game, is I can't remember the last time Elanga scored a goal, and Gordon himself hasn't scored for a while himself.
Yeah, that is indeed true.
Or even laid on an assist, really. It was Jacob Murphy who actually made an assist in the weekend just gone, and he hadn't started this season either. What's your thoughts on that, and how much, if anything, is going to play a part? Or do you think the night under the lights, St. James's Park, Champions League, Barcelona, Newcastle United, those things kind of go out the window?
I would be more worried about Gordon, because I've seen him miss plenty of chances in the time where he hasn't scored.
Yeah.
Whereas Elanga, obviously, I didn't watch him week in, week out for Forest, but for us, he got his goal in pre-season. And him not scoring this season isn't really due to him missing massive chances. Yeah, he had the one-on-one against, was it Villa? But that was a very good save.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be too worried. If Elanga goes through one-on-one, I'd be backing him to score. If it was Gordon through one-on-one, I would be not that sold on it. But I think the thing that makes me more confident here is that they'll be attacking in a pair. So if one of them's through wide, the other one's going to be coming in at the far post.
Oh, so
and it could just be potentially a decent cross across the box and giving someone pretty much an open goal. And I think we'll see that situation at least once tomorrow evening, where both of them have broke the offside trap and it is just a simple square ball for one of them to score. I think we'll see that at least once tomorrow evening, and we need to get that one right.
I like that. Martin Bland sort of supports us and says, we will get Prime Gordon tomorrow. He will have that new trim confidence. He's had a haircut, so we'll think he's Brad Pitt. He does love a haircut, Gordon. Team Season says, I remember our last Champions League campaign, Eddie Howe failed. Dortmund slapped us twice. We looked like a championship side against Dortmund. Milan outclassed us twice. I'm sorry, Eddie. I think you have to be a bit... it's our first time back in the Champions League for 20 plus years. We had mountains and mountains of injuries in that season as well. So I'll be a little bit more...
That's an odd take. It's an odd and very harsh take. I would say, apart from the Milan away game, even though it ended 0-0, that was a bit of a battering. We couldn't get out that game. I'd say every other game, we held our own. We got beat by the odd goal. Like one of the losses to Dortmund was a goal on the break. Like, it's not... They didn't comfortably beat us in any game. And then we beat PSG 4-1 and drew away. So today we got slapped up in a group of death when we nearly got out of it is bonkers.
Yeah. Team season says, but when it comes to European football, he's out of his depth. I mean, Eddie Howe. If we can't show he can do it this season, Philip, we can't go third time in the future of a manager and stuff. We can't learn. We do learn from losses, though.
Yeah.
We know that we learn from losses because we're in the Champions League again and we won the League Cup. Like, I don't know, team season, like you're incredibly harsh.
We've got one of the most adaptable managers in the league. Like, I don't know what more this guy has to do for everybody in our fan base just to back him to get it right.
We've got Man United fans who are willing to give their right hand for him right now.
Yeah.
Jam Stasher says, but Bruno is always the key to me. God bless you, Jam Stasher. Good to see you again. If he starts losing possession when he's pressed by Barca, he might have a long day. If he's on it and has a good game, we have a great chance. I think, to me, Bruno is a very consistent player. And he's had a one-off game against Wolves. And I think he's a consistent player who gets even better in higher pressure situations. I'm really anticipating a huge performance from Bruno, in my opinion. Really, really. Like, when it comes to Bruno's, Tonali's, Joe Linton's, Burns, I have a very lot of confidence in them, honestly, especially the higher the game. Gary says they might have a terrific midfield, but they've never faced Tonali J7 before. They won't like it. 100%. I agree with that. Team Season says if we had Wissa, I'd say we would have a chance, but Voldemort got a bad history up front. 50 games, 3 goals, and 12 and 28. That's not fantastic. Fantastic. Fans are making him out to be the next Isak. Bayern Munich really liked him, though. They really, really liked him.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens, Team Season. Let's see what happens. I have a little bit more confidence. Mine Bland says if you're taking into account non-starting games, yeah, those are subs. He scores 17 goals in 19 starts, which is why Bayern Munich were looking at him. Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, his goals to minutes is better than Ekatiké's from last season as well. If we're playing that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think the Squawker one about that, actually. Aaron Cape says, I see J7 playing 3 positions tomorrow. I can see that. LB, centre midfield, and striker rotating with Wolfman. I like the name Wolfman. Love that.
Wolfman,
for Volta. Antonio Mango calls him Volta Murder. It's all coming out. It's funny because some people in our group chat were making all sorts of fun. They've gone quiet now.
Even like Marlon from Spurs Kings was calling him Voldemort the other day.
He's gone quiet now.
So keep the jokes coming. They'll tune that down.
Martin Bland says he may shock people more than they think. Who's that? Martin Bland? I missed that. Let us know. Maybe I think it's with Voltamada. Maybe Gary says, Philip, I think we'll use Voltamada in between the lines and pull the defenses out. If they don't, he'll have time to turn and run at. Yes, absolutely. Queen of Hearts says, are we looking for any diving specials? I hope not. Nathan, anyone looking for a ticket still? I don't know. Are you looking for a ticket, Nathan? Let us know. Oh, you take? Yeah. I don't know. David Barter says, no way Eddie plays all 3, Elanga, Gordon, and Voltamada. He will rest Voltamada for the week. What? David, no. And play who? Or Sola?
Yeah. You don't rest your record signing against Barcelona to save him for Bournemouth. I'm sorry. Like, no disrespect to Bournemouth. I know it's a very tough game away from home at the weekend.
This is
Barcelona in the Champions League. He's
playing. He's absolutely playing. Let's not do that. Jam Stasher says there are 3 national sports in Spain: football, diving, and the third I'm not allowed to say among polite company. Goodness gracious me. Martin Bland says stronger side for Barca. I see him repeating Wolves 60 minutes, Voltamada or Sula on for the rest. Yeah, or even
Barnes with Gordon through the middle.
Yeah, Gordon through the middle, Barnes. But I'd even say, I don't know why not, but put Elanga on the left, Murphy on the right, and Gordon through the middle.
Yeah. And either one of those work. I think that's the change he makes when Voltamada needs to come off.
Yeah. And we'll know that he needs to come off because he won't be able to move. Um, I like Voltamada. Guys doing shopping in Newcastle, just out there, like in the supermarket and everything.
He's
Gary
got that
says,
sort of like around the city. He's got that Harlem vibe about him. Obviously, I'm not
yeah,
saying he's
yeah,
going to
yeah,
score
yeah,
goals like
yeah.
Harlem, but he just
He's
wanders
just,
around like he's just a normal civilian. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
I love that. I love that. Do a couple more chats. Gary says, "No way he'll leave Big Nick out. These games are why we bought him." Forget Bournemouth. Absolutely, absolutely. Anymore? Wobojog says they play the same way through their academy. It's one of the most disciplined defensive lines. Yes, that's true. Expect a lot of offsides. You only hope is your winger perfectly time their runs. Yes, absolutely. It's going to be absolutely key, Wobojog. But we're saying if it's timed right, it's it's going to be difficult for them to catch
knowing it,
up.
knowing Eddie Howe, we might have even noticed, and that run might just come from a fullback every now and again.
Yeah, exactly. Aaron Kame says, I do think that our predictability of Osula might actually work against Barca's high line should he come on. I do want to see more rotation between him and Ilanga, but I think that comes with a game time. I agree. Gary says, Philip, I think we can score more goals than we might win the game. A good plan, I think. Yes. Brilliant. Oh, good to see my man, Registered Kev. Good to see you. God bless you. Always adding the fun. Visca Barca. Ooh, yeah, absolutely. Gosh, hope Rashi gets a big Register's a Man United fan as well. Good to see you, Register, man. Good to see you. Aaron says, Aaron Kane says, I'd rather have Ilanga through the middle than Gordon. He's shown he can play centrally with Sweden. He can. Yeah, he can. The beauty is that we can really rotate between them. Big up to you, Register, as well. Right. Um, so in summary, just to summarize their attack is look, the Champions League, again, two philosophies. Newcastle, our attack with our pace and technical directness will test Barcelona's high defensive line. That's going to be the key. And I think I can't remember who said it. Was it Aaron? Somebody talked about Wobbledrop talked about it. Obviously, they're key in terms of Barcelona do pride themselves on their high line and keeping teams offside. So our pace and our directness and our ability to kind of make sure that we break that offside line is going to be absolutely key. Individual draws are critical. I think that's where Voltamada plays a key role in that. And the outcome will hinge on whether Newcastle's attackers can successfully isolate and exploit the vulnerability. So Ilanga 1v1 against Gerard Martin. How is Gordon going to do 1v1 against Kabas and others? The other thing we didn't talk about, we're going to talk about in a moment. Even if we don't break the high line, can we get these throw-ins? Can we get these corners? Because I'd love to see Barcelona defending corners against Voltamada, Byrne, Joe Linton, the rest of the team who are all 6 foot and above. That's going to be tremendous to watch.
That's going to be key. Set pieces are going to be very, very key tomorrow.
We talked a lot about breaking that line, the high line. It's going to be more than one way to skin a cat. And don't be surprised even if we get a free kick like near the center circle, you can see all the Newcastle players going to pack off the the final third in Barcelona's end, and just us just whoosh doing Stoke City. Why not? Absolutely. Why not? Let's show them what Barclays football was all about.
Yeah, we've even got Tino. Tino's developed that long throw trait as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's by any means necessary. So, folks, I'm going to get your predictions in a moment. Do send them in from now. I'm going to go to because I've been waiting to use this JLA tactical board with you guys and see where we're at. But do send in your predictions from now. How do you think the score will go? And we'll talk a little bit more about where the game's going to be played. How you guys like that? This is our new board, man. Goodness gracious. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And courtesy of Mr. Is it James Lawrence Alcott? So he's designed this. It's absolutely amazing. Now, I'm willing to change that. And by the way, I've got different phases that you can save it as well. So you can say you've got different phases of play. Obviously, this is the kickoff. Then you've got them attacking, us defending low blocks. It doesn't so I get to set it up and they save it, if that makes sense. So that's how it is. So we'll talk about all these phases of play. You're going to hear Mitch's views as well. The first thing I want to say, though, a lot of people, and if it's by high demand, are we saying that Trippier is not going to play and it's going to be Hall on the left and Livramento on the right?
That's what I think it will be.
Yeah? All right. So we'll change that for here. Put Mr. Livramento on the right. And where's Hall? Did I forget? Don't tell me I forgot to put Mr. Hall on. Willock, Trippier, Ramsdale, Murphy, Osilla. I did forget to put Hall on. Let me go to my bench. Where is he? Is there no Lewis Hall here?
There must be.
That is
weird. There must be, because I'm sure I had Lewis Hall when I did one of my tactic thingy breakdowns with him. Is he not hidden under someone else? Because sometimes when you click out loads, they hide under each other.
Miley, Ramsey, Russa, Sanusi. Is he hiding behind anybody? Ah, yes. All spotted. Here we go. Mr. Hall. All right, so so that's the one change you will make, right? You wouldn't make any others?
No, I don't think he'll change anything else other than I think it'll be the set. That's exactly what I had in my head.
I've got Baldi here. I don't think Baldi's injured, so it's going to be, who did I have? So Martin Beretti here on the left. Baldi's injured.
So you have
Gerard Martin.
Gerard Martin, yeah.
Barca. Where is he? Mark Casado. Here we go, Gerard Martin. Here we go. Okay, so
I think Ter Stegen's injured as well, isn't he? It'll be Jan Garcia.
Ah, okay, yes, the guy that we were falsely linked to, like so many other players during the transfer window.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is that was like the biggest false flag ever. I'm gonna start calling these transfers full flag. Some of these guys. Do you remember when they start saying they're about to sign Johan Garcia? And we're so used to it by this stage. We're like, yeah, we're just being like linked because everyone thinks it's fun to show us getting rejected. So we're just getting rejected by everybody, right? Right. The other thing I wanted to point out is this is probably the best bench we've had in a long time, by the way.
Yes.
It's
stupidly strong for us.
It's been such a long time. Chow, Botman, Osola, Barnes, Murphy, Trippier. No, it's not Trippier. Yeah, Trippier, sorry. Ramsdale, Willock. We could have had Ramsey on here as well. We should still have Wissa, right? And those are the guys that are injured. So I wanted to point that out. Obviously, Barcelona, we know a little bit less about some of their players, but some of them are really well known. Obviously, Rashford, Lewandowski, Almo, who I got Almo here. It's not Almo. I think, where is he? Furman. I think Furman Lopez is going to play. With not Gavi. Yeesh, that would have been scary. He's injured. Who was the other player that's going to play them through the middle?
Is De Jong back?
Who?
Is De Jong back?
Ah, yes.
Or is he still injured as well?
I didn't even mention him. He wasn't even the player that I mentioned in the 1v1 duels, but he's back. He is there. He's there as well. I saw a clip of him there. And Lewandowski. I don't know if you've seen there at St. James Park. They were training today. So Kabasi on the right, Arujo and Martin Langreo in the middle. Johan Garcia is their goalkeeper. All right, so there's our starting lineup. Oh, they bring back the players though. You have to. That's fine
because you saved it with the old players. We know what we think the lineups are going to be, though, don't we?
Yeah, we'll keep it as. We'll just change up.
Just the shape, yeah.
So So I've initially said where them attacking us and where the press would be, and kind of where is it? It's gone back. Where do I want it? I want it here. I think is it this one? To okay. So I'm seeing So this is So whilst flicking back and forth, because I kind of saw two phases, I was going to ask you about this, Mitch. Is there'll be a periods, maybe long periods, we don't know, where we would have to defend in a fairly low block or getting into a low block. Usually, we kind of go into a flat back four or flat back
Yeah.
five.
Yeah.
Us getting into that. What Barcelona will try to do, depending on where the ball is. Where's the ball? Can't see. Oh, they got it on. You can change the color actually, but they got it on the JLA here this time. Well, how you change the color of the ball, but okay, it doesn't matter too much right now. They'll try to stretch us, obviously try to pin us on the side, Rashford on one side, Kabasi acting as a fullback on the other side, with Rafinha getting inverting, or try to create these 2v1 situations. Hence why I've got Joe Linton dropping in a lot, and hence why I had him a lot in these situations where I think it'll be Joe Linton and Rafinha, or Livramento as well. It does feel a lot better with Livramento on this side, because I think he can handle one or both on the other. On the right side, it's not going to be. No, it's going to be. Sorry, it's going to be this way. So Livramento on that side, and Hall on this side. So Joe Linton and Hall on this side. Excuse me. So it looks a bit different that way. So I do think Joe Linton will play versus Rafinha. And Burn and Shaw in the middle, taking care of Lewandowski. But what they'll try to do, Barcelona, a lot is have your Dani Almo or Fermin Lopez, add in the extra person to worry about. Casado will be try to also get into that part as well, but probably will keep position to be able to provide a decent rest defense for them. So Gordon's going to be key in terms of ensuring that he's blocking any passing lanes. So if the ball is instead of the ball going strictly centrally, straight to Lewandowski to try and get him isolated in 1v1 versus Burn, or Almo 1v1 versus Shaw situations, Gordon or Elanga or Bruno in particular would have situations where they would have to obviously block those passing channels.
Do you think he might utilize Voltameda where Gordon is?
So you think Voltameda will drop in like this with Gordon here?
Pushing further up.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is
Voltameda coming in with one of the pacey guys going up to occupy the back two.
So where is it? Like this? No, not like this. Where is it? I'll get it. Oh gosh, it's all going off. So I'll do it like this. So
pretty much like that, but just switching Voltameda and Gordon. Do you reckon he'll dabble with that idea? Because where we saw the box midfield with the wingers pushing on beyond, he might have that as an option at times, so that when the breakdown comes, that ball is just clipped over into the channel, where it's sort of guaranteed to win it with someone like Gordon there.
Right. So say for instance, Kabasi, they ring in the ball into Rafinha here. Burn wins it early.
Yeah.
Off him. And you've either got a pass to Voltameda, who holds off for Casado, or Arujo, who wants to push up. Casado might be here, and off of Gordon, kind of leaving this space here. That way, you're kind of thinking you've got someone pacey, obviously just causing trouble, heading that way. Yeah. So you kind of see them switching over that way, which kind of happened in the Wolves game as well. On the other side, where Elanga and Bruno is, how do you think, getting back to Trippier here, it's not Trippier, it's going to be Hall. No, it's going to be Livramento. How do you kind of see it in terms of what's the best way Newcastle can set up an attack? So say, for instance, Balde's on the ball. Let's say Pedri's on the ball. right? Pedri's on the ball. Now, we typically, like I said, we typically go into a back five. We don't want anybody to be too isolated. I got Bruno coming across quite a bit here, but I don't know in what order in particular it will be, because what they'll have to worry about is the runs in behind
Yeah.
and not allowing that, but also blocking off any passing channels. So but at the same time, what Bruno has to be worried about is not letting any blocking off the passing channels, but also making sure that in this case it would be Livramento on the right. Why is it Trippier? Oh, but Livramento isn't by himself as well. But then obviously you've got Tonali. How would you have it? Would you have? So I had Tonali doing
I would sort of shuffle over a bit. So you would have, and then Burn comes over. Joe Linton fills that gap, and Hall's not so tight to Cabrasi yet. So it'd be more like that. So then you've got Tonali's then frees up Bruno or Elanga to go and push Pedri, to go and press Pedri. I don't think we ever really leave Pedri with time on the ball there. And then Tonali can kind of come over and fill this space between Olmo and Martinez. Sort of there, but then also covering the gap just in front of Livramento as well.
Where is he? Oh, okay. So what, round here?
Sort of in that area, yeah. So that there's a gap between him and Bruno, but it's not huge. So either one of them can break that passing lane into Lewandowski, but then they also haven't got too much ground to cover, to double up on Rashford or Olmo if they need to.
Yeah. So the main thing is to try to disrupt Pedri from kind of getting it through, because Pedri would actually go for these type of eye in the needle type of passes as well and cause absolute havoc if you don't do that. Okay. So how do you think would be the key in terms of helping us break forward? So say, for instance, Pedri pings the ball to Lewandowski again, Burn gets it off him. Do you think essentially Elanga sets off here, Tonali sets off here, Bruno gets himself off, Voltemada gets himself off? Or what do you think is going to be the key? Or do you think the key will be, he will say to him, get the ball off to Shaw, he'll hit a switch to a Gordon, or a chip?
I think it all depends on how we win it back and how the breakdown is. Because if Burn nicks in front and nicks it, and then he has good possession, I think Elanga goes, but Gordon doesn't go instantly if it's down Burn on the ball. Yeah, because if it's the other way around, say Shaw nicks in front and wins it, that run happens the other way around. Gordon goes and Elanga doesn't, because
Gordon goes, Voltemada drops in, or Roja's got a choice. He has got a choice. Either he follows Gordon. If he does that, then what happens is that Voltemada's got the space here.
Yes, exactly. And where Shaw's, I think that will happen, because where Shaw's right-footed, the ball to Gordon's the natural angle, and the same for Burn to Elanga. So it depends on who wins it.
It depends on who wins it. Roja's going to have an interesting job here. Does he drop back to Gordon? Voltemada picks it up. He'll have runners on either side. Does he flip the ball, get it over to Elanga this side, or does he have Gordon on this side? And that's the key that, I've got everybody coming with me here. That's the kind of situation you want to be in, don't you? You want to have that kind of choice of where you want to go. Or does he drive himself?
And I think he does. If he gets a space where he's kind of drive and then sort of half wait for the commitment and then pick your pass. I think that from what I've seen, obviously I haven't seen, I can't say I've seen 30 games of him playing, but from what I've seen of him, that's kind of what he likes to do. He'll drive into the space, and then as soon as someone commits, that kind of makes up his mind of what the pass is going to be. Yeah.
What do you think happens if Hall gets, because I know that you guys were saying a lot about Hall playing. I've been won over by it. I just don't know if Howe is going to play him or not, because I do think he's going to be aware of this 1v1 situation. But what do you think happens if Hall wins the ball or gets the ball? What's the idea? What do you think is going to happen? What kind of run do you see Gordon making? What do you think Voltemada does?
This is the toughest one, and it's why I think Eddie Howe's going to play it, because Lewis Hall, if he gets the ball, he can play whichever pass he chooses to play. He's not like limited. I don't think there's going to be like a set, like a full-on trigger. Say he gets, if Hall gets good possession in the first 15 minutes, I think it confuses the hell out of Barcelona, because they'll try and press him, and he'll find Gordon a couple of times, he'll find Voltemade a couple of times, he'll find Giramez and he'll get it back. I mean Bruno, and get it back. He might just roll it into Dan Burn. And I think it will confuse Barca, because I'm not sure they'll be as well versed of how complete his passing actually is.
Right.
So I don't think it really matters who goes when he gets the ball. He will be able to find any pass. I think his main pass will likely be Voltemader's feet. That would be his preferred pass, and then we play off that. But he could very easily just clip the back four, whether it's a long diag to Elanga, whether it's a curved clip line to Gordon. He's capable of doing all of them. But I think his preferred pass will be into Voltemada, potentially dropped off to Bruno or Tonali, and then the wide guys will look to be in the position to receive in behind.
Voltemade is going to be key, because he's going to have to give Arujo a constant choice of what to do.
Yes.
As I think Joe Linton's going to be key in covering Hall if we're going to play, because I think that's going to, because we're going to have to, because you have to make a choice, because Joe Linton, someone mentioned it, Joe Linton playing 3 positions. You can do that very well against Wolves. It's going to be very difficult to do against a Barcelona team. So what worked really well is obviously we had this box midfield of Joe Linton joining up here, Bruno, Tonali, and allowed us to have the situation where we're able to kind of have kind of some sort of supremacy. I think if Hall plays, Joe Linton's going to have a big role in ensuring that Rafinha stays quiet, or he supports him. So if that happens, Voltemada is going to have to fill in this spot almost by himself, and Gordon is going to have to be close to him. Maybe Bruno pushes up at some points as well. But Hall does give us the option. Does he do a clip ball over the top? Just let Gordon run onto it. It's going to be fascinating. I think what was the other thing I wanted to show? So us on the other end as well, because it's not just going to be Barcelona pinning us back. We're going to have a bit of that as well. What's your thoughts on our attack? What do you think we're going to be doing? Burn, probably Shaw, Burn or Shaw on the ball. What do you think Eddie Howe's going to be doing in these type of situations?
This is where we've looked at our worst for years.
Yeah.
We've looked at when teams don't leave us any space to get in behind, get our one-on-ones, utilise the pace that we've got in the side. And I think this is where Voltemada again just comes into his own. I think it will go into Hall quite a lot, who then look to play Voltemada's feet to get runners off him. Like Gordon maybe running in behind, someone coming across the face of him like a Tonali for a little layoff and a shot. I think that's going to be key to how we break them down if we do have a lot of possession within their half and they're sat in their bank of, because they sort of drop into a 4-4-2, don't they, out of possession?
Yeah.
And you give them time. So, yeah, I think Voltemada is going to be even more key in these situations of creating little angles and little spaces for other people to run into.
Do you think he's going to be, so he likes to drift into that left side?
Yeah.
Joe Linton's role is going to be key, because you kind of have to, you're thinking about your rest defense as well, because if the ball breaks badly for us, you've got Rafinha running in behind, Rashford also running in behind. That's going to be key for us. How do you think? So do you think, because if Voltemada goes to the left, for instance, we kind of lose the aerial presence, but Gordon fills the side as well. It's either going to be.
I think what they'll kind of look from Voltemada in these situations. So say Hall's got the ball, Voltemada would look to get sort of in between Gavi, and Arojo, just in between them, in sort of like a false nine position. Not in between the two centre backs, but in between them, exactly where the midfield. Yeah, just a little bit back to the left, I'd say. And then as the ball goes into his feet, Gordon makes either the run outside the winger or inside, and Voltemade will look to play him in. So they'll be looking for Voltemade to create little angles so we can fire a ball into his feet, and then the winger will make the run off him. A little bit like, do you know what Yulk Cole used to do? Do you know the movement where one kind of steps over it, goes into the other one, creates a little angle to play that nice little second pass? I think we'll see a lot more of that off Voltemade because his skill set is made for stuff like that.
And I can see Tonali probably hang back and screen the back 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's on the left side. How do you see it playing on the right side if we're attacking from the right side? So say Shaw's got the ball, for instance. Bruno, Elanga, Livramento. Obviously, I'd imagine Voltemade shifts a little bit more to the right side. Would be your thoughts, right? And
yeah, but I think he'll stay a little bit more. I think he'll come a little less, but I think he'll come less wide in these situations. I think this will be the side where he'll be banking on crosses. Yeah, I think this side will be banking on crosses, either getting Elanga and Martinez one-on-one so he can beat him, maybe get a low cross in, or if that doesn't work, coming back out to say a Bruno to put, that first time, that lovely arch swinging cross that he does.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the plan, to keep trying to play the intricate passes. So if we can get someone that makes that little run in behind, so we can put a low cross in, or if not, it will come back out and he'll swing one of them crosses in. I think that'll be the plan from this side,
to get them in early.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got this figured out, haven't we? I've said tongue in cheek. I don't know how many likes we've got at the moment, folks, but let's try and get 15. We've got 15 people viewing. Let's try and get 15 likes before the end of the show. So I've asked for folks' predictions. We've talked about Newcastle attacking, Barcelona attacking. Was there one more I needed to look that I had? Did I save? Let me just double check again, make sure I haven't got it wrong. Oh no, wrong place. Back here. There we go. Yeah, so that was them attacking. That's us attacking. It's going to be an incredible game. I've asked folks for predictions. I'm going to go to the chat, see what people are saying. And I'm going to ask Mitch at the end for his prediction. I'll give mine as well and see where folks are at. Wow, tons of chats. As always, you guys have been absolutely incredible. I'll try to get through as many as possible. And give us your takes. Team Season says, see you keep laughing off facts. Eddie Howe has now proved he's a top manager, maybe in your heads, but how many seasons have we fell off at the end before last season? So I'm sorry, where is he at? Okay. I'll see what, we'll see what happens Team Season. We'll see. Like I said, I got more confidence, I think, in Eddie. Gary says, as long as we can get men in the box when we break, we can hurt them. We need to give Voltemade support in the box. Absolutely. Aaron says, Pedri marking Wolfman or BDB. Yeah, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be absolutely crazy. Team Season says, attacking football, we look worse than last season. We have no threat from if we show me Gordon scoring goals. Sorry, Barcelona, the highest scores in the Champions League last season. Okay, send in your predictions, Team Season. Send in your predictions. Everyone's taking my scoreline, by the way. Spoiler alert. 3-2 Langer first scorer from David Barter. Thanks for sending your predictions. Adrian Pickett says 3-2 as well. Any more? Team says wait till Jose comes to St. James's Park, then you'll see if Eddie can coach him. We'll see. He's out coached Luis Enrique so far. That's not been bad. and Onslaught in the final League Cup. I don't know. Like I think Eddie Howe's been doing
He's
okay.
outcoached
Like
every manager in the
no,
league. Like, I'm like team season. We appreciate the input, but I'm confused a little bit why you're so negative on Eddie Howe. It baffles me. But hey, each to their own.
Aaron says Lewandowski as well is an absolute killer. He is, and I haven't talked
Yes.
about him enough. He's absolutely phenomenal. Sharp isn't great aerially, so I disagree. He's not. He isn't. He is not as tall as Burn, but Shaw's got so many head injuries. I give him
Yeah.
credit. But yes, absolutely, you're right, Aaron. Lewandowski is absolutely phenomenal. Aaron Kemp says Voltameda will drop in to form a box midfield. He will, and I'm looking forward to it. Da, 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 da. Emmy says, are you guys from the future? Match reaction to Newcastle versus Barcelona. How did you do? I've confused people. Like, you guys, come on. I'm just trying to be like organized out here. I give someone a panic attack over that as well. I'll be careful next time. Gary Morn says, we'll probably get beat 2. Gary says, probably get beat 2 or 3-0, but there's no shame in that. Most teams do against. Wow. Okay. I was watching a Chelsea show yesterday about how did the game finish? Was it 3-1 or 3-2? Do you know?
I didn't actually get the final score on that. I know Liverpool won.
I thought it was 2-2.
No, they scored late again, man.
Again.
92nd minute. 3-1 it finished.
You're joking. Okay.
No, Van Dijk header from a corner.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. Big up. Well, the Chelsea fans, you should be bullish about their team as well. And so I and obviously, and I was thinking, I don't know, it's Bayern Munich, and obviously they got beaten 3-1. Maybe I am being too bullish. I don't know. But the more we kind of look, we look at the tactics, we look at the individual game plans, I think we just see when Newcastle can win. We can also see when Newcastle can lose as well. Emmy says, against Barca, I wouldn't go a back 5. I would go 4-5-1 and can mark Rafinha. Me too. I don't think we'll go back 5 against Barca. I don't think we'll do that, especially with no. I think Mitch said at the beginning, with no Yamal, I think that would have been the difference between us playing about a 5 in the back and a 4 in the back. Emmy says, there's no Yamal, so I reckon yous could win, to be honest. Plus, the St. James Park could be rocking. As a fellow Englishman, I back my English teams in Europe. And that's what we used to do back in the day a lot. Like if it's not our team, back an English team to win it. Gary says, I'm fascinated to see how Eddie will set up against them. Emmy says, Gordon is going to be your danger man, but Elanga can beat Balde for pace. And Balde is injured, by the way. I think it's going to be Gerard Martin that's playing. That will be an interesting matchup. Absolutely. Send in your predictions, folks. Send in your predictions. A few more chats. Good to see you guys as always talking amongst yourselves. Did I miss? I thought I saw Bobby Fairview for a minute. Maybe he's not here. And yes, a few hit them likes, folks. Please do hit them likes. I don't know how many you got at the moment. As Queen of Hearts says, hit them likes, folks. It helps Philip. It helps the channels. Absolutely, guys. So yeah, let's try and get as many likes as possible. Aaron's got his prediction in for 3-1. Feel something special in the air tomorrow. So do I. I can feel it in the air. It's got me singing already. Emmy says Kim Cam and Queen of Hearts. Sorry, you guys talking amongst yourselves there. Sorry. Emmy says you're a Man United fan. Okay. As a Man United fan, I'm feeling a 3-2 win at Newcastle. A few of us have said that. You guys did my spoiler alert. I think St. James.
To be fair, I think most of like the romantic Newcastle fans are going 3-2 tomorrow.
Tino Sprilla coming off the bench, just rolling back the years for 30 seconds or so. I think St. James
Park was like to the day yesterday, today or yesterday.
Yeah. Crazy. I think St. James Park is going to be a fortress. Barca can see a lot, but score a lot too. but your midfield three is better than theirs. Whoa, you think our midfield is better than theirs, in my opinion, and Gordon is the wow. I haven't heard that
Jeez.
one. That's brilliant. I love that. I'll take it. Absolutely. Queen of Hearts says, I predict a draw for a tangible reason. Barcelona will go for it, but we have changed in the squad with our new signings in the form of Voldemort. It's up for grabs, a draw 2-2. How would you feel about 2-2 draw, Mitch?
Pre-game, I'd take it. Now, if someone said you could take a 2-2 draw, would you take it? I'd take it, I think. Just
Unless you're
about
2-0 up.
reluctantly.
Unless you're 2-0 up. Unless you're 2-0 up. You're like, sheesh.
Yeah.
It depends how it
It's
comes
one of
about.
them that I think there's a massive performance coming tomorrow. So I think if we put in a really good performance and ended up drawing 2-2, it'd feel like a little bit like a kick in the nuts. But
Yeah.
like a draw to Barcelona, you can't really turn your nose up at that.
No. Me says, I've had one for about 4 years now. I missed that. You pay about £30 for the stick and £60 for this. I ain't bought a stick yet. Just so it's okay. The guys talking amongst yourselves. It was 3-1 to Bayern. Yes, that was a good game. I watched that. Liverpool did it again. Goodness gracious. Arnie time. Oh no. Is it going to be Arnie time? Martin Bland, score prediction. I'm going big, 4-0 Newcastle. We need to impart a bit of positive thinking. People seem to have run out of milk for their... I like that one. I'm going to use that one. I love that. And to be honest, if we said 2 years ago, oh yeah, PSG, we're going to win 4-1, we would have been laughing as
everybody would
well.
have thought we were crazy.
Kim Cam says, I like confidence, but I do not like hypes and delusions. Anything can happen against big teams. Not losing is excellent result for the Toon to start their campaign. So send us your Kim Cam, let us know your score predictions. Let us know. Gary says, we've paid a lot of money on players who want to play in the Champions League. Now it's time for them to show up. I think they will. Martin Bland says, as long as we walk away proud, it doesn't matter. Aaron Kemp says, I got Tina to score just for the nostalgia. Yeah.
That's going to be one of like the biggest scorecasts in Newcastle tomorrow. Tino Livramento Newcastle 3-2 is going to have to be put, like, so many people are going to put it
on. Martin Bland says, we do not demand a team that wins. We demand a team that tries. Kim Cam says, gave a score prediction. Well done, Kim Cam. Why everyone is talking about 2-2? Weird. Oh, okay. What's your score prediction, Kim Cam? Why is that weird? Let me know. Emmy, for me, Joelinton, Bruno Tonali are only behind Liverpool's midfield. Matt Graves and Dom now Verts. Wow, you rate high ratings there. High rating. I'll take it. Okay, Mitch.
Yeah.
Prediction time. We've gone through the tactics. No, we've gone through the we've talked about Barcelona's playing style, their philosophy. We've talked about ours, how we match up against each other, where Barcelona's strengths and weaknesses are, as well as our own. We've done the individual duels and potential duels between different players, your Joe Lintons versus your Rafinhas, your Brunos versus your Pedris, our attack against their defense, where the key parts to exploit are, the breaking the offside trap for Barcelona, which is by design their offside trap, but also we're a transition team. We talked about the set piece danger that's going to come from Newcastle as well. It's going to be important for us to get. We've done the tactical breakdown on our new fancy GLA tactical board as well. After all that, and the score predictions have been sent through the chat as well. After all that and more, what is your score prediction?
The romantic in me wants to say 3-2.
Right.
But the logical side of me is going 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle.
Okay. Scorers?
I feel like we're going to get an Elanga first goal.
Right.
and we're going to get one from a corner, which makes me want to say I'm going to go share from a corner.
Share. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be the romantic. I think it will be 3-2 Newcastle. I think we will get one goal from a break. I'm going to go for Gordon to break that up. And I think we'll get a couple from set pieces. So I've got Gordon, Byrne, and Voltemada as our scorers as well. So, guys, we've got tons of other people sending in their predictions and everything else. Chat, you've been absolutely phenomenal. So that's 3-2 for Newcastle, 2-1 for Mitch. Mitch, I've been absolutely phenomenal in the show as always. Let folks know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me where the I'll sleep. I'm going to try my best to get out of work early enough tomorrow to do a pre-game show for this game as well at about 6 o'clock. If that doesn't work, we'll be back at the weekend. We will have 2 pre-games, one Saturday, one Sunday. And then also our standard show is 9 p.m. Sundays every single week. This week, we're going to be talking about Chelsea and their potential charges.
Yes, that's going to be a big one. Invite Bobby Fairview; he'll be good for that.
Yeah, I'm going to reach out to him. To be fair, I'm going to see if he fancies it.
He'll be very good for that. And and you're welcome to come to the match reaction. I'm going to have a match reaction tomorrow after the game, so you're welcome to jump on with us as well.
Yes,
guys, you know where to find Mr. Mitch on Where the Hour Sleep as well. Incredible. Thank you again, Mitch. And thank you to the incredible chat. Always top engaging. No matter how many people are here, we've got the chat box is always off the chain. Really, we've brought down the game. We talked about Barcelona's philosophy, their attack, their defense. We talked about ours as well, our key strengths and weaknesses. But for both teams, we've talked about the various tactical approaches both managers could take, the 1v1, the key players for each team, the 1v1 duels, the collective duels, and everything else. And we've done a little big tactical breakdown on the board as well. We've given our score predictions and you've given yours. And it's all about the game now. It's all about the game. And look how far Newcastle have come, folks. Like, we've come from battling relegation since the takeover, second from bottom. And now we're talking about beating Barcelona at St. James's Park. You live for times like this, folks. So as always, folks, make sure you look after each other, and God bless, folks.